Now here you can see like costumes, and we've got a couple of ones that are seen as pretty much a preset. And what that basically allows you to do is you may, for example, come up with a really crazy, random, cool, awesome costume, and you may not necessarily remember which parts you put on what. So this basically gives you the option to come to this point and save the costume that you've got, so you can come back at a later time and use that costume again. An example of that would be, I'll just choose this one. Okay, so you got that. Random here. Or we can go for something like this, and that's my kind of superhero one. And for one, maybe one's a bit more serious, is a ninja with a tennis racket. So you can kind of do random different things again, and that kind of shows some of that stuff. So let's get a little bit into the sound effects. The sound effects pretty much is giving you the option to basically have an intro. You can record like a couple of seconds, a 3 to 5 second intro for your sound for when you go into the arena, and you basically can say, hey, you know what, I'm here, I'm awesome, and I'm ready to like rock, I'm ready to fight. And then you can also have like a victory soundbite that you can have as well, where basically every time when you win, your opponent will hear that. So you can say, hey, I owned you, hey, I rock, or I'm just like the best in the world. So let's get onto some of the styles. Sorry, get onto that, like that. Let's get onto styles. So styles. Fighting, obviously, a lot of different styles that you get in a fighting game. So, you know, we've got the serious ones. You've got things like Muay Thai. So we click Muay Thai, you see a typical Muay Thai stance for anyone that knows that. You've got boxer, so you get into a boxing stance. Wrestler, you get into that grappling stance there. But then we want to have fun with it as well, because again, what we're talking about is the customization, being able to have fun with the game. So, well, what could be possibly fun that we can have as a fighting style? Well, how about a ballet style of fighting? Because, you know, ballerinas love to fight. Or we can have disco, for all those people who like to shake their hips and move around and get a bit, you know, boogie down a little bit. So you can have that. And as you can see on the right here, is some of the moves that are associated with the different fighting styles that you choose. You know, capoeira, for people that know capoeira. Again, some of the fighting styles come up there, karate, here. Now, another thing that we're trying to do with the again with the customization is obviously you have the ability to be able to kind of have your typical controls that you're expected on a fighting game with half circle forward, or you know, back, forward, back, and etc., and using the button inputs. But another thing that we're going to be incorporating is the back touch, and we're using the back touch that will basically allow you to perform set moves, but using the back touch to be able to access those moves. Now, what that does is one or two things. Well, firstly, it allows you to have a different option to be able to play the game, and two, it gives you a whole sort of new level of ability to be able to kind of get into the game. And for players that perhaps struggle a little bit with using the traditional controls, this will add a whole new kind of control method and flexibility for them to be able to play that game. So once you've chosen your fighting style, you're pretty kind of good to go. Let's get to weapons. So weapons. Well, we got 3 different types of weapons that you can carry, and you can actually carry 2 as well. So let's start with one of the weapons that we're showing here. So we can have a big bottle there, or we can have the rubber duck, because people have kind of been like laughing at the rubber duck, or a garden gnome. And you can use that to obviously hit people, use an umbrella. These are all different weapons again. Again, not necessarily you're going to be limited to these weapons, but at the same time, it's kind of like, again, you can personalize it, will allow you to be able to unlock new weapons to add to the longevity and fun of the game. Second one, these weapons will also be used in a different way, but you can kind of carry 2, and you can see that on the side there with my character. And then thirdly, we've got one that's called vehicles. That name could possibly change. However, vehicles, one of the things will be a train, for example, or meteorite. Basically what I'll do is you can kind of do like a sort of button input, and you'll be able to basically use that against your opponent when you're fighting in the game. So these are some of the examples of you know, what you can do with the game to allow the level of functionality and customization of it. And obviously there's the option there if you want to see a nice little portrait there, and you can kind of do different poses and different things to basically kind of add to the game here.